Good evening, good evening. I'll sit you down. All right, how you doing? Hello, my name is Nat Williamson, and I'm in charge of End Times. Thank you for coming. All right, today I only got, well, let's see how much I have. I think I have plenty, but you never know. Let me get a drink. I'm drinking Dr. Pepper. And remember what I say, girls. It's just makeup. It washes off, okay? So if I got heavy-handed, oh well. I'm trying to get used to wearing red lipstick. Blood of the Lamb, you know? All right, here we go. All right, I don't know what it's starting with, okay? I'll just start reading. People that can't take the fact that people want to bless them and give freely. 1, they can't get past their pride, which is a sin in God's eyes. When you can't, you feel like there's something's going on. 2, they are suspicious. What is this person's end game? Or 3, they insist on paying you for it, even though they didn't ask for it. They feel an intense need to pay. This is a symptom of brain rot and heart rot. Dare I say short bus, okay? I was trying to bless someone, and she kept having a hang-up about it. So I just stopped, girl. I just stopped. Because at that point, she makes me feel uncomfortable. Yeah. Just trying to bless her, but maybe that's how jaded her life has been. Okay, here we go. Pastors. I need water. Pastors, if you can't afford to keep the church open, then you are not to have a church. It's that whole concept of, you've been in the Word long enough. If things are flowing, you're in God's will. If it's not flowing, you're not. That's His way of shutting you down. So if you're having a hard time making ends meet, you know what? Swallow that hard pill. You were never meant to have a church. And that's His way of saying it. And it's a shame because at that point, maybe you had side game to the church. You're sifted. So, you would think these guys would know the Word inside and out, and they would know how God thinks. Makes me think, because I know how God thinks, because I read every word in the Bible. You kind of get a gist for what He could stomach. And any pastor who said the Old Testament did not apply is in hell right now. Or they're going to hell if they told their flock that. Because I know some lady told me, oh yeah, we don't need to tithe because our pastor said that's Old Testament. Isn't that some ignorant stuff? That is a pastor who's in hell, obviously. Didn't read all the Word. Just didn't. Okay, he was playing pastor. I don't know what his end game was. If he didn't he didn't care if anybody tithed. You have to tithe. If you don't know that, well, churches are damned. What can I say? Yeah, but that was how you were supposed to get blessed. I'm having a little bit of a hard time talking because I have a flipper in my mouth. I have a dental implant healing. So it's going to be 3 months. I feel weird with this thing. So anyways, I feel like I'm wearing dentures. But I'm grateful that's never going to be my journey? Yeah, that's never going to be. In Jesus' name. Okay, let me finish before I went off on a tangent. If God truly wanted you to have a church, honey, then the money would just come. If you're any time a Christian, you would know that. So He doesn't want you to have one. I don't care what you feel. It's a hard no. No side hustle. Those are the ones that are truly damned. I don't care how nice they are. Okay, that was the end of that. It was short and sweet. Obviously, this was the only notebook near me when he dropped that one. All right. Oh, Mel Gibson. Let me get a drink. This poor guy. I feel sorry for Hollywood because they're all sifted. Mel Gibson is going to hell, okay? He's been sifted. 1, because he knew. Anybody that's in the industry knew about that stuff. We didn't. They knew about that stuff. that involved children, babies, and babies. You know, when you hang a baby by its ankles and you beat the hell out of it with a stick or something to make it scream as strongly as possible, and then they slit it somehow so they can get all its blood. That's adrenochrome blood that these stars have been drinking. Okay? Yeah. Can you imagine? What kind of creep, what kind of evil? God, you can't get any lower than that you can even stand the sound of that, much less the appearance. Good God. Soulless, walking dead people. Because they're living and breathing. Isn't that something? Anyway, went off on another tangent. Let me get a drink. Sorry that I described it. That's why that guy that played Jesus is so jacked up. His last name starts with a C because he's heard and listened to all that crap. And now he's jacked up permanently. Because God says, be careful what your eyes see and hear, okay? It'll jack you up permanently. But if, it won't if you're so in the Word, eventually you'll get healed. But, God, who does that anymore? Duh, because here I am. All right, Mel Gibson feels this need to make another movie like it will make up for all the stuff he's done. The man is sifted. He's one of many that knew that stuff was happening and said nothing, saving their own asses by doing that. They got themselves sifted. See, they didn't have lion spirits. Lions are courageous. They don't care about self-preservation. You can't. You can't do that stuff. Worry about just you and yours. That is the mindset of Satan. Okay? So, it's pointless. If he's doing this because he thinks he's hearing from God, I'm sorry. He's not. He's under the spirit of delusion. Okay? Anyway, if you can watch any of that stuff, you don't belong to Jesus or God. Because we are supposed to walk by faith, not by sight. I can't stomach the stuff. I went to the doctor. My numbers are good. She said they were good when you walked in. She said, you need to go to the doctor. Yeah, good luck. That diagnosed you. That'll have all the bad numbers. So I guess he was healing me already. But anyway, but I was still peeing dark, not dark, but it was dark yellow. It was a yellow. And now it's barely a yellow. Okay, this is about me and you, okay? Let me get to it, because, well, maybe I don't need to. I think I wrote it out. Yet I am always with you. You hold me by my right hand. You guide me with your counsel. And afterward, you will take me into glory. Let me reread that again. Because I was distracted. My mind. I got so much going on here. I feel like Noah. Yet I am always with you. You hold me by my right hand. When I was having one of my dreams with Carly, and she was little, and I was walking away from her, and I knew I was. It's a dream. It's talked about, I guess. We were going to be permanently severed. Anyways, I felt somebody was on my right side. And I sensed it was Jesus, but you know. And it says, you hold me by my right hand. So he was there with me when he told me to let her go. He did. He told me, let her go. Because I said, I can't believe I'm leaving her. Because she was my world. Okay? I wasn't some weird-ass bitch that was mean to her. Quite the opposite. Quite the opposite. Maybe that's where I went wrong. Well, you don't know what kind of kid you got. They're all different. Some like Zachary, precious. From birth. Yeah, he had a hiccup in his early 20s. Around there. It was a bad hiccup. But he got over it and he's back. He's back to himself. He's back to himself. Precious soul. My daughter, I kind of picked up on stuff, but you always want to think the best. And now I got this. I've lost track of the years, really. It's pointless now. I really don't care at this point. I mean, I got this journey now, okay? It's whatever. All right, so he has me by my right hand. You guide me with your counsel, he is. And afterward you will take me into glory. Because he's coming to get me. Physically going to come get me. All right, here we go. Psalm 82. I'm so glad that Jesus took that from me. You know? Because some of these parents are dying of broken hearts. Isn't that terrible? Because their child was their world. And they couldn't switch gears. I switched gears. I was getting clues. And I didn't want to believe it. You know, when she went away to college? Yeah, I was thinking, you just pick, as a mother, you pick up on stuff. A change was coming. And she couldn't tell me. I guess, I don't know. It's whatever. But according to God, she's going to hell. With all the other canceled kids that have blocked their parents. And high incident of cancer too. Psalm 82. Read and talk about the plight of the gays forever. All right, let me read it. God presides in the great assembly. He renders judgment among the gods. How long will you defend the unjust and show partiality to the wicked? Okay. How long will you defend pedophilia in your church? But you'll throw up if a gay person happens to start attending your church. That'll make you sick. Don't that sound stupid? Because it is. How long will you defend the unjust and show partiality to the wicked? Defend the weak and the fatherless. Uphold the cause of the poor and the oppressed. Rescue the weak and needy. Rescue them. Deliver them from the hand of the wicked. The gods know nothing. They understand nothing. They walk about in darkness. All the foundations of the earth are shaken. I said, you are gods. You are all sons of the Most High, but you will die like mere mortals. You will fall like every ruler. I'm thinking pastors are rulers of their flocks. You will die like a mere mortal. Yeah. Rise up, O God, judge the earth. He's judging the churches and pastors. And I got that job. For all the nations are your inheritance. He did tell me that if you, well, he'll get to that. He addressed it, how you could save your ass from getting sifted. If you've been doing stuff. I don't think if it involves sex, you can forget that. But maybe the side hustle stuff, yeah. Okay? The innocent side hustle stuff. Well, it's not innocent. I'm sorry, my bad. None of it's innocent. It really ticked him off. And that's why he says y'all are damned. Over that and the gay thing, yeah. That's why. But he gave you like an olive branch, okay? To pull you out of the fire, okay? And you know you're held. If you don't know this, sir, when you wanted to be a pastor, they're held to the highest standard. You go to hell when you do wrong over your flock. You mislead them or whatever. Even if it was a misstep. Old Testament, God don't care. Oh, I didn't know. He'll never, even though it might be true, he'll never believe it. Well, he knows your heart, so. But still, even if you're dumb, that's how important that level is. It's that important. I think that's why some of it goes to their head. Like the one that was a thorn in my side when I was just trying to go deeper. Well, she's probably sifted, I'm sorry to say. Because she had a church, because she wanted a church, and she had a side hustle. So maybe she should listen up to this when I get to that part. Okay, girl? Yeah, you might want to. Read and talk. Okay, I already did. Okay, we did that. Okay, here we go. If you're a maybe I guess I get ahead of him, okay? I just do. Well, we're one. That's what it is. I got to remind myself we're one. Every now and then I go off on a tangent, but I correct myself, okay? Trust me, I will. If you're a pastor who Jesus has called out, pastors that have created side hustles, stop your side hustle immediately and go to the gay communities and engage those groups. Get them saved with every fiber of your brain, because your alternative is not good, okay? Or else, redemption. And he wants you to publicize it. He doesn't want you to do this in secret, because that, to him, means you're ashamed and embarrassed. So you better publicize the heck out of that, okay? If you actually have the guts to do that, you know you've had a side hustle. Now, I don't mean a side chick. I mean a side hustle. Do that. Okay? That's what he said. Okay. If God does not have mercy on innocent babies that do not belong to Team Jesus, if God does not have mercy on innocent babies that do not belong to Team Jesus, remember where he told him to dash against the rocks? Yeah, that one. He most certainly does not care about any pedo. And then he starts screaming, okay? They are cow dung in my eyes. You and any church with known pedos have been sifted. Don't believe me? Don't care. You'll find out when you get there, okay? I will switch this over. We're almost at 17.